In the deep lands of Elandriel, there was an ancient legend whispered among the trees and rivers, passed down from generation to generation around campfires. It was the story of Kael, an amber-eyed elf who had sworn to wait 1,000 years for a love that eternity itself seemed to have erased. The elders said that in his youth, Kael had fallen in love with a human named Arwenna, whose laughter lit the golden fields like the sunrise. But when war broke out between the human and elven kingdoms, the two were separated, and Arwenna disappeared without a trace. Since then, Kael wandered through forests and mountains, immortal in body, but mortally wounded in heart. Legend had it that he walked on nights with a full moon, always carrying with him a small blue stone that glowed as if it held the memory of his lost love. The young men of the village considered him a myth, but some claimed to have encountered him among the trees, alone, gazing at the horizon, as if waiting for someone who would never return. Kael was no ordinary elf. He belonged to the ancient lineage of the Star Guardians, beings destined to protect the border between the visible world and the hidden realms. His duty was sacred, but his heart had been broken the moment he lost Arwenna. The blue stone he carried was no mere memento, but a gift from her, a fragment of a fallen star that symbolized the promise of reunion. Over the centuries that followed, Kael became an enigmatic figure, a blend of myth and reality. Many travelers swore they saw his imposing silhouette beneath the silvery glow of the moon, always with the same melancholy gaze. Some believed his soul was trapped between worlds, unable to move on until the promise was fulfilled. Despite the pain, Kael remained steadfast in his vigil, becoming a silent guardian, witness to generations of humans born and died while he remained unchanged. One day, while walking through the Myr forest, Kael heard a soft voice echo through the trees. It was not the whisper of the winds, nor the song of birds, but something that seemed to come from within the earth itself. The voice spoke of a forgotten prophecy. He who loves beyond time will find his answer when the blood of the moon touches the earth. Kael, overcome with a shiver, recognized in the words a sign that his wait had not been in vain. The blood moon was a rare phenomenon, occurring only every 1,000 years, and it was about to appear again. Driven by hope and the fear of being deceived, Kael began a journey in search of answers, crossing mountains and valleys toward the ancient crystal temple, where he believed the truth about his promise would be revealed. During his journey, Kael encountered a young traveler named Seris, with black hair and intense blue eyes. She seemed frail at first glance, but her presence was marked by a mysterious energy that awakened dormant memories in Kael. As Seris approached, the blue stone in her hands glowed brightly, as if recognizing something within her. Startled, Kael tried to dismiss the idea that this human might have any connection to Arwenna. But Seris, intrigued by the stone's glow, insisted on accompanying him. She claimed to hear whispers similar to those that guided Kael, as if she too were connected to the prophecy. Reluctantly, but unable to ignore destiny, Kael allowed her to follow him. The silence between them was heavy, but it carried a strange tension, as if invisible threads were intertwining their souls. During the nights of their journey, Kael watched Seris from afar. Her curious demeanor, her courage in the face of the forest's dangers, her way of smiling at the smallest things, everything reminded him of Arwenna, and it tormented him. How could someone centuries later bring back such vivid memories of a lost love? Kael's heart was at war, between fidelity to the promise he'd made and the new flame that, against his will, was beginning to ignite within him. While Seris slept by the fire, he would rise and stare at the moon, asking the stars for answers. "Is it a betrayal of the past to allow the present to blossom?" he whispered silently. But the stars, as always, remained silent, leaving him alone with his grief. One night, Seris revealed something that changed everything. She said that since she was a child, she had dreamed of a figure with amber eyes and a blue stone that glowed in the dark. These dreams guided her, and she believed her life was destined to meet this figure. Kael shuddered. How could she dream of something so intimate to her story? The blue stone reacted again, glowing intensely, almost burning his skin. He began to wonder if Seris was just a traveler, or if there was something much greater connecting their existences. Fate seemed to be playing with him, bringing to light secrets buried for centuries. Seris, however, seemed confident. I did not come to you by chance, Kael. I am the answer you've been waiting for. As they reached the temple, a sacred silence fell. The crystal in the center began to pulse as Kael placed the blue stone upon it. A vision took shape before his eyes. Arwenna, smiling, but slowly transforming into Seris. The revelation was both painful and liberating. Awaken had been reborn in Seris's body, bringing with her the essence of the broken promise. Kael wept for the first time in centuries, understanding that the love he had waited for had never died, merely awaited a new cycle to blossom. Seris held his hands and said, "You waited for me, Kael, and I have returned." But the revelation did not only bring relief. From deep within the temple emerged ancient shadows, creatures nourished by time and the pain of waiting. They tried to separate Kael and Seris, as if fate would not easily accept that love could defy millennia. Kael fought with all the strength of his immortal soul, while Seris used the energy of the blue stone to drive back the darkness. The battle was fierce, and with each blow, Kael felt he was fighting not only for himself, but for all the generations who had lost the chance to love freely. When the shadows were vanquished, a deep silence fell over the temple. Kael and Seris, exhausted, looked at each other with the certainty that they were finally free. It was then, under the light of the blood moon, that they kissed. The world seemed to stop, and the crystal exploded in a wave of light that crossed the heavens. The kiss was not only the union of two souls, but the healing of an ancient promise, proof that not even time or death could erase true love. Kael and Seris decided to remain together, not as prisoners of legend, but as living witnesses that true love transcends any barrier. Their story spread among humans and elves, becoming a symbol of hope. It is said that even today, on nights when the blood moon rises, a soft song can be heard echoing from the forest, the melody of Kael and Awaken, now Seris, celebrating the reunion that took 1,000 years to happen. And so, the legend of the elf who waited became not only a story of pain, but also the greatest proof that love is the force that guides even the stars.